Hi everyone, welcome to week 2 of the spring semester. Now's the time that we're going to complete our novel projects and you're going to post them in the discussion board. So if you have a PowerPoint or a YouTube video, you can post it in the bulletin board that's labeled for the projects. Or if you wrote the paper, you can also do that there. Or if you don't want to do that, like you really don't want to do that, then you can email it to me at my class email address. But I would love it if for those of you that did videos or PowerPoint presentations, if you would please load them up on the bulletin board, because it kind of can count as your speech. It's kind of hard to get those speeches in when you're homeschoolers and you're doing this all from home, but you do have to do it. And so this is a good way to prove that you've done that. Everything else, if you want to include your blurb and your Amazon review, you can do that as well, or you can email me. So really it's up to you, but I would love it if you guys would post it in the discussion board. I think that you guys all worked really hard, and I know that sometimes it's nice to show off your work. And to get some kudos. So there. We're starting Shakespeare. We are starting Hamlet this week, and I just want to calm your nerves. I know a lot of people get very nervous about reading Shakespeare because until you really get into him, it can be kind of hard to understand what's going on. So to help you get used to the language, what I'm going to do is try and post readings from each act so that you can listen to it, or even just theatrical performances that are on YouTube. I will post those in accordance with what we're doing that day, and that will help you to see what's going on. Remember, Shakespeare is not meant to be read silently. It's meant to be read out loud. And acted and kind of had fun with. You need to have fun with this. So what you need to do is when you're reading through it, I am fine with you listening as you read. Okay? That would make me very happy. I think it makes the most sense for helping you to understand Shakespeare. So please do that. The other thing is, a lot of people think, Shakespeare is so highbrow, it's high English, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is that it wasn't. Like, yes, he had the ear of the Queen, Queen Elizabeth I. But the reality is that if you can get into Shakespeare, he was very bawdy, which means like he was kind of irreverent. Like, telling a fart joke is not beyond him in his plays, especially his comedies. And there's a lot of things going on in these plays that I think really would interest you. So give it a chance. And it's hard to do in an online format to understand that. So that's why I'm going to post videos of readings and such so that you can go ahead and do that. And I'm going to use funny memes and things like that go along with everything so that you can realize, oh wait, I see what's going on there. And I think that'll help you with your understanding. And once you kind of unlock the feel of Shakespeare and Shakespearean language, then that whole world opens up to you, and it's an amazing world. Like, he's written so many things that are just like my favorite is Midsummer's Night Dream, and I would love for you all to read that at some point. It's just whimsical and fun and hilarious. The character of Puck is funny. So I want you to experience these things and not be put off by the fact that it's Shakespeare. Okay, I want you to enjoy it. And honestly, once it clicks in your head, it becomes so much easier to read, trust me. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and I have worksheets for each week, and just you can fill them out, scan them, take photos, and email them back to me. That's fine. Or you could type your answers in an email and email them to me that way. If you don't want to take a picture or scan your worksheet, that's fine too. So I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm looking forward to kind of opening up the joy of Shakespeare to all of you. Some things I want to talk about: there are religious references in this play, Hamlet. Also in the fact that he had the ear of Queen Elizabeth, that Queen Elizabeth enjoyed his plays and would see them and often. I wanted to explain who Queen Elizabeth was a little bit, and this is actually a fun history. So remember, this is during the Protestant Reformation. Her father, Henry VIII, was the king during the Protestant Revolution with Luther in Germany. Henry VIII was considered at one point to be the champion of Catholicism, the prince of Christianity. The Pope held him to high regard and loved him. He was married to Catherine of Aragon, whose parents were, by the way, Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand. And you may remember them from Columbus. They're the ones who signed the contract and gave Columbus money to come and explore America. Well, he never made it to America, but the West Indies. They were a very prominent royal family. She was a very important princess, and so Henry VIII married her, and they upheld Catholicism. Okay, so then what happened was she did not give him a son, an heir. She gave him a daughter, and that was not good enough for him. So someone else, Anne Boleyn, caught his eye. He wanted his marriage ended. And so he wrote to the Pope and asked for an annulment of the marriage because his wife did not give him an heir. But the Pope said no, so King Henry got upset and kind of created his own state religion in England. So he said, bye-bye Catholicism, I'm creating the Church of England and I am the head of it, and this is what's going to happen because I want to marry Anne Boleyn. So he did that, and he sent Catherine away with her Catholicism, and he began to not trust her and even not trust his own daughter, Mary, that he had to Catherine. So then he was with Anne Boleyn, and he had his own state religion. However, it still looked very much like Catholicism. He may have left the Catholic Church behind, but he did not leave the tenets of Catholicism behind. But because of that, the country went into this whole kind of tailspin of, okay, we were once Catholic, now we have to follow this, and he wanted everybody to fall in line, and not everybody agreed, and people lost their heads, and it was a whole thing. So then he never got his male heir. He got, out of Anne, he ended up with Queen Elizabeth I, who is the contemporary of Shakespeare. Okay? So Queen Elizabeth was raised in Protestantism. Queen Mary, from Catherine of Aragon, was raised in Catholicism. So what happened was, when the king died, the only person they could give the crown to was Queen Mary from Catherine of Aragon, and she instituted more Catholic rule, and she did not like the Protestants, and people lost their heads. Okay, so we went from Catholicism to Protestantism to more a Catholic-looking church again. So then when Queen Mary died, Queen Elizabeth came in, and she was Protestant because she was Anne Boleyn's daughter, and so the country made that switch again. So the people living in England went from Catholicism to Protestantism, Catholicism to Protestantism, and it's this whole big mess. And so that's why there's kind of like a lot of religious imagery in this, and I think it'll be interesting. Also, another thing that they're going to talk about is the idea of purgatory, and there's really just a Catholic kind of line of thinking, Catholic theology, and it is basically like when you die, instead of going to heaven or hell, you go to purgatory to burn off your sins so that you can go to heaven. Does that make sense? So that's what that is. I just wanted to make sure everybody understood the language, and happy Shakespeare reading. I'm so excited. I'm going to be reading it with you. I love Shakespeare, and I promise you it's not going to be awful. Okay,